In today's video, we're going to talk about the 6 hacks to living in Medellin. Why hacks? Well, a lot of people that come down here complain about the same thing over and over again. Culture shock, inefficiencies, money situations. Man, these Airbnbs are overpriced. All these owners are jacking up the prices. The whole point is to help you get better at anticipating what life in Medellin is going to be like, and that culture shock doesn't hit you like a truck. The first hack is to eat well. Might seem like something obvious to a lot of people, but very rarely do I ever meet someone that tells me, oh man, I came to Medellin and I gained weight. It's usually the opposite. The food here is pretty basic as a whole, meaning like the traditional type food, but it hits like all of the major food groups, sometimes in one meal, which is pretty awesome. If you don't know, Colombia as a whole is pretty famous for mom and pop restaurants having lunch. They call them menú caseros. Casero means like home menu. So on average, you can be paying between 15,000 pesos to 20,000 pesos. You're talking about a lunch meal at one of these mom and pop places where for $4 or maybe even less, depending on the neighborhood, you can get a complete meal that hits a lot of the basic food groups or sometimes all of the basic food groups in one sitting. Create a routine for your life. It's one thing to come down here as a visitor, as a tourist, you're on vacation. But eventually, if you're gonna be living here, the honeymoon's gonna be over. I've been going out every night, dancing salsa or doing stuff that I usually don't do in my hometown or in my home country. But now I've got to get back to work, feel more productive. I've got to work towards a goal or have some sort of purpose. So having a routine. And that comes to kind of like a personal thing too, right? And I hate when someone says, you've got to wake up at 5 in the morning or 4 in the morning and you've got to make your bed and you've got to do this and do that. That doesn't work for everybody. It doesn't work for me. I tell you, I wake up when my brain wakes me up. I wake up every morning at 7:30 in the morning. I've got no alarm clock and then I get to work, right? I usually am in front of my desk by no later than 9 a.m. And then I've got a lunch routine, and then I've got a gym routine. Like I've got to go at a certain time because I don't want to go when it's completely full. And it's pretty regimented, but it's what's made my life a lot more enjoyable and manageable here. Because if you're living here, eventually you're going to get bored of just fucking off all the time and living like if it's a vacation. So if you transition from vacation mode to like, okay, let me be productive mode and also have fun because, living life has to be fun. So having a routine is primordial. Guys, by the way, if you're watching and you're new, feel free to hit the subscribe button. I go live every Wednesday and Saturday. Make sure to hit the like button on the video if you would. That would be amazing. I appreciate you. The number 3 hack to living in Medellin as an expat is to learn how to handle the peso. It doesn't mean like, oh, learn the currency. Yes, obviously you should learn the currency, what the different denominations are. Before you even come down to Colombia, you should know that. If you really want to break it down and make it simple for yourself, the peso is 4-to-1 right now. So I did a little research, and according to salaryexpert.com, the average salary in Medellin is 43,657,000 pesos per year, which is about $11,156 a year. That's the average. So we're talking about a little less than $1,000 per month is the average that people are making in Colombia. This is what I'm talking about, is to understand the money here. Understand that people on average, out of the 4.5 million people that live in Medellin and the metropolitan area, the average salary is a little less than $1,000 per month. So once you understand that, you will understand that you need to handle money or the peso, a little bit differently and stop thinking in dollars. Not because I want you to be a cheapskate, but because I want you to understand that not everybody makes as much money as you probably make or has enough savings like you have. Once you understand that, you will understand a lot of things about Colombia as a whole and Medellin in particular. For example, I keep seeing comments about people saying that, man, these Airbnbs are overpriced. All these owners are jacking up the prices. It's not fair to the locals. I'm like, are you listening to yourself? You're saying that the locals are jacking up the prices for tourists because tourists can afford that, and they are affording it. And locals are the ones that are benefiting from this. Why? Even if you own a home, on average, you're only making making less than $1,000 per month. So of course, if I have an asset that can make me $500 more, that goes a long way. Imagine if you're making about $800 or $900 a month, you'd rather go rent somewhere and put that apartment up on Airbnb and furnish it nicely, maybe take out a loan to furnish it, etc. If you could make $500 to $1,000 extra. It's smart and it makes sense. But if you don't look at it that way, if you don't do a little bit of research, then that's where you become bitter about, all these jacked up prices, supply and demand. I don't know what that is. It's not fair. Take a step back and really understand what economics are here and understand why this is happening. Think in pesos. Whenever you're going to buy something, when you're going to hire someone for a service, familiarize yourself as to what people are making, understand what those people are normally getting paid. Obviously, you want to pay them well, but it doesn't mean that you just think in dollars. You think in pesos. Very important to understand what economics are like here and what people normally make in Colombia before you start coming down here and just, flashing your money or just spending money at will. Anticipate culture shock. By now, you should already know that people are flaky, and Colombians will tell you this themselves. They're not punctual. They say yes to a lot of things when they really just mean no. When they say, yeah, I'll be there in a minute, that minute can mean that they'll be there in 2 hours or maybe tomorrow. Understanding that part of the culture is one thing, but how can you anticipate it? I double book. Well, when I was single and I was dating, I wouldn't get my hopes up, right, on this one girl that I really, really want to see. But I also met this other girl. I'm going to double book for Saturday and Friday because one of them will say I can't go because my grandma is having gastrointestinal surgery and we've got to sell the dog so that we can pay for it. I mean, the excuses are going to be endless, but that doesn't matter. As long as you understand that, let it be. Or even in business, like if you're going to be looking for an apartment, don't just have one real estate agent helping you, have like 5. So that's one way to deal with that part of culture shock. It's all about who you know in Medellin. It means that to do pretty much anything in Colombia and be efficient at doing something in Colombia. When it comes to business, it's all about who you know. And there's even words for it. Like, for example, teniendo la rosca or tener palanca. That mean that I've got an in there, right? Those are common expressions in Colombia. It's like, oh, how did you get the job? Oh, tenía rosca. Then I understand, oh, he knew somebody in the company that helped him get the job. So how do you anticipate for this? What is the hack? The number one hack for me is I've learned to like being social. For example, if you're an introvert, in Colombia, you're going to have to step out of that comfort zone and meet people, talk to people, push yourself. Small talk can be actually pretty deep talk, believe it or not. I'll give you an example. Today, we went to go look at an apartment with a real estate agent. As we're walking back home, we saw a for sale sign in another building, and we went to the security guard. He gave us the contact information, and we said, oh, thank you so much. By the way, if you see the owner, let him know that we're interested. Here's our phone number. We're going to call him anyway. But this seems like an awesome place to work. Do you like working here? And then we started a little mini conversation with this guy for about 4 minutes, 3 minutes. And literally as we're walking away, he waves us back. He's yelling at us and he's like, the owner just got here. The owner just got here. So we went back and we talked to the owner and he said that he had 2 other properties for sale as well. So we've got him on WhatsApp and everything. And I said, look, how about we go for coffee and then go see the other 2 properties that you have? He said, I would love that. No one's ever asked him to go see, for coffee, and he owns 3 apartments. So of course I'm going to become like his little best friend. I want to know why he's selling them. I want him to like me as a person and realize that we are going to be living in that property, or at least my sister is. So it's not just for business. It's more for personal and because we love Medellin. So those little things go a long way. Create a support group. And this is not like AA or NA, but it's kind of like AA or NA, because when you're an expat, you're kind of in an exclusive group. There's a lot of people that come down here and visit, but when you become an expat, like a living here long term, talking about a couple years, or this is going to be your destination, right? This is going to be where you live for a long period of time. You definitely need a support group. That's what's gotten me, having gone through a rough time when I first got here, of having no money, trying to figure out what the hell am I going to do with my life in this foreign country where I don't know anything. Going from there to where I am now, a big part of it is the support group that I created here. For me, it was important to make friends that were going through the same thing I was going through. And I suggest that you do that too. As much as you may want to be getting away from foreigners or America, there's probably other people just like you. They're looking for something better. Not obviously people that are coming down here just to party or do things that you don't want to do, but things that go in line with what you do. Find those people that are doing or wanting to do the same things that you want to do, if not at a bigger scale, and hang out with those people, because those people, it's not all about money, but those people also have their head in the right place. My business partner is an expat from Canada that I met in 2011. We've been best friends since then. He's my neighbor. We basically, for many years, we were pretty much inseparable because we had a business together, but also we liked the same things. We like to go to the gym. We like to play basketball, meet new people. So creating this support group was primordial to my success in Medellin, not just in business, but just at life in general. I hope that you guys enjoyed that. If you guys have any questions, make sure to leave them in the comments below because I'm super active. Make sure to hit the like and subscribe button as I upload videos frequently and I go live frequently as well. And if you want to talk to me or become part of the Medellin Masterclass, check out that link in the description below.